What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back to another video, and today we're going to be doing a 3-round mock of the AFC West. And you guys might be thinking, back-to-back days with a video? Yes, we're going to try to get back to it. NFL season starting up. We got the first preseason game coming this Thursday. I'm so hyped, you guys. So I hope you guys are too. And let's kick this off. You know what? There's no real need for a big-ass intro. Let's just have some fun. Let's get into the drafting world and let's kick some ass. Obviously, we have my rankings are starting to be built up even more. I'm finishing up with the defense right now, looking at some edge players and finishing up on the corners. Again, no trades, too much RNG. But starting off with the number 11 pick, this kind of hurts because we have seen 3 quarterbacks already go off the board. And that was the first target that I was going to go after. To be honest, I was going to go after a quarterback here, and I think that's not very large surprise if we're at number 11 with this team. There should be a change in the quarterback. However, it's not fair to be going back to the well for another quarterback at this time. Technically, we could go after another corner, though, because, again, I'm pretty sure that both Kyle Fuller as well as Bryce Callahan might only be there for a year. I think that we'll be able to afford bringing them back, though, if we're going to be able to have a high-end quarterback. But there is a player, there's a position that is, in my opinion, not addressed enough. And you guys might disagree with this. However, I think that this guy is a stud. I think that it is beyond worth this pick, and it will continue making this defense unbelievable. It is not George Karlaftis. It's DeMarvin Leal. I have him as, I believe, my number 5 guy in the draft. I'm going to have to check that for you guys. It might be like number 8 or something. But he is unbelievable. I think he's on the Derek Brown level. And I'm going to be doing an even deeper tape dive into him to make sure that what I'm saying is 100% factual. However, I'm pretty damn confident in it. So at number 12, I'm going to just say this right now. The cornerback class is good. There's some depth to it. Corner is a desperate need for the Raiders. But you know what's also a desperate need? Wide receiver. You know, if Henry Ruggs is your true number 1, we saw last year he probably isn't a true number 1. And he can grow into it for sure. But you also need guys around him. I don't think John Brown is going to be anything better than a patch, and that's no disrespect to him. He's an excellent player. And, of course, I believe his name is Brian Edwards out of South Carolina. Like, these guys are supposed to be wide receiver 4s, not 2. So Garrett Wilson's an absolute stud. I think that the wide receiver class is probably the worst one we've seen in a while, and Garrett Wilson is one of the few exceptions in that list. He is absolutely awesome. So I am personally going to be going after Garrett Wilson in this spot. It really sucks I couldn't have gotten a quarterback at number 11 for the Broncos for you guys. It hurts me inside, but I think DeMarvin Leal is just that good to where you go best player available and continue building up that defensive interior. At number 16, the Chargers are on the board, and I'd be looking at an edge here. That an edge, maybe a corner as well, because, of course, you know, we do have ASJ, Asante Samuel Jr. However, I do believe that Casey Hayward's still gone. And most of the NFL viewed ASJ as a slot corner because of his size. I don't really agree with that, but Chris Harris is also going to be on his way out. And again, you don't want corners to be the reason why this team is pretty booty. So I'm not going to be I'm looking at Andrew Booth here or Ahmad Gardner. Ahmad Gardner is going to be more of that pick specialist. He's actually putting on muscle, which I don't understand why. I think he needs to put on more speed than anything. But Sauce Gardner and Booth this is my number 2 corner. This is my number 4, spoiler alert, solely because of the athleticism. But we've already seen with guys like Casey Hayward who, like, even as they age, and Chris Harris too, they don't have to have the best athleticism to be extremely productive on this defense. But definitely looking at Booth here. But, of course, we do still need to look at edge in the defensive interior as well. Perrion Winfrey is a pretty damn good option, just not at this spot. Looking at the edges, though, my number 1 edge is actually not for a little while. It's Adam Anderson. Well, number 2. We already know number 1's KT. But I think that it's fair to say that Adam Anderson will not be picked in the first just because of his size. Very similar to Azeez Ojulari in that way. So we're going to be passing on edge in the first round. We're actually going to be going corner again. And this is going to create a dynamic duo for the next 4 years. Because, again, 4 years plus a 5th-year contract for ASJ. And then they'll have the first 4 years of either Ahmad Gardner or Andrew Booth. I honestly just think Andrew Booth is a little bit better. And I'm a Sauce Gardner fan. I love him. I just saw some explosiveness on Andrew Booth's tape that I just cannot imagine how good it could be. So Andrew Booth, also a very willing tackler, something I like quite a bit. Ahmad Gardner is going to be much more press heavy, and it definitely could be something that works in the scheme. But for the sake of this video, we're going to be avoiding that for the time being. And I think the best route for the Broncos at this moment, because we didn't get them a quarterback, is to go and trade. Realistically, I think that's the best thing you can do. But we already know where we need to go for the Chiefs. We're going to be going Nick Bonito here as an extremely tactical speed rusher. I think he's right now my number 3 edge in the class. Extremely explosive. When he wants to be, he is unbelievably talented. So I think that once you get that a little bit kicked up, then we'll be able to be a lot better. And I'm very happy Matt Corral is in here because I might pick him. But this is a great spot for a guy like Keaton Slovis because, again, he is a fourth quarter comeback guy. JT Daniels is another target. I think this is, like, I'm not even a Keaton Slovis fan, right? But I think this is good value for him. I have him as an early second right now. And that's a good sign. This is a very deep quarterback class, but I don't think you guys want to be starting Brock Purdy. Keaton Slovis is somebody, he lit it up in his freshman year. He has a lot of room to grow, and I think that he has a lot of talent. It's just, again, I think that some of the mistakes he makes are very mental, and that's an issue. But, again, he is so young, and he has so much room to grow. This is a place where he could light it up. I think he's a lot better than Drew Lock, and he's a lot better than what Teddy Bridgewater is. So I was about to say go in free agency, but this is kind of a gift. We're getting Keaton Slovis right here, and I think that's absolutely awesome. Also, I don't fully agree with this, however they set up the draft board. I'm not talking about here, but I know this is based on Vegas odds, but it doesn't feel right to me. Holy shit. Yeah, apologies for the language, guys. Brandon Joseph's still here, and I didn't even see that. I think that's ridiculous. We're getting him. Bottom line, I don't really care if Carl Joseph is there, Jonathan Abrams crap. Trevon Moehrig and Brandon Joseph. That's all I got to say. I probably would have taken that in the first. I totally forgot about that. Wow. Okay. So it looks like Raiders are my new favorite team in this draft. At number 48, this is actually something I'm considering right now. Breece Hall for the Chargers. You know, I don't think that's a terrible idea. Austin Eckler is a solid one, but you know, you could have that lightning and thunder with Breece Hall there, who is another. Ooh, damn, Sean Ryan's good. Is going to be another Heisman finalist. So very interesting situation here. We've already gotten for the corner, right? We could definitely go for the edge rusher. And I think this is an appropriate place to take a guy like Adam Anderson. He's going to be a good Uchenna Nwosu replacement. I think you could put on some more weight and then maybe make him a little bit bigger. But he has some aggression to him too, man. He has some legit push, which is why he thrusted up very highly on my list. Cheers to Brochmo for actually pointing him out to me because I had never seen him before. And I'd seen him, but I never thought that he was actually a day one type of talent. But that's because I was looking at the other side of the line. And I didn't realize that Adam Anderson, to me, is better than Azeez Ojulari. And I like Azeez. So, big fan all around right there. At this spot for the Chiefs, we're going line. Just kidding. That's the last thing they need. Tight end would be weirdly interesting if they wanted to get Jaleel Billingsley, who is they like gadget weapons, right? Jaleel Billingsley could definitely be that type of target. I would look at the wide receivers right now to see if there's anybody good. George Pickens could be a fun third option for this team. Definitely something I would consider at this moment. Corner is another one where I would be looking. You know, we got guys like Darian Kendrick here. They already have a guy from Georgia with personality issues on the roster, DeAndre Baker. So there's always that option as well. But it's a little bit low for me to go after Darian Kendrick again after I did last video. Somebody who I don't even know if they have him on this list, but Roger McCreary is not getting enough respect at all. Definitely a very talented corner and something that's very weird to me because I do not see him in here at all. Just something that kind of bugs me, but that's okay. You know, TDN's not up yet, so we'll take what we can get. I think this would be a good spot for a guy like Darian Kendrick, but I think that we're going to actually go with a more fun route. We're going to get a guy like George Pickens. There is not a number 3 wide receiver on this team. I'm going to be honest. The kid that they drafted this year, I'm bugging on his name. He's from Clemson, if I'm not mistaken. Not worth it. He's not going to be a number 3 guy. And I was a big fan of him. That's a funny thing. So, yeah, we're going to get off that train. A guard like Zion Johnson would be definitely interesting for a team like the Broncos that would definitely want to run it a little bit more. Um, that is interesting because building the offensive line definitely could be something we try to look at. Looking at the tackles here, Thayer Munford is still here, and again, I think he could actually be here, even though I think his talent is supreme. I think that his age might push him down, and this would be a perfect spot for him. Again, Bobby Massey is up for a 1-year contract after this year, and Thayer Munford could be an excellent guy to step in day one to be able to protect that right side because again, you have Garrett Bowles, who just signed that contract on the left. Now you can have Thayer Munford on the right, which again, he is a left tackle, but he's dealt with mobile quarterbacks. He's dealt with a very NFL pro style scheme, and he's played very valiantly. I'm going to be picking him up here. I think it's a good option. And for the Raiders here, I'm not sure. Yeah, we got Brandon Joseph last time. Looking at it, I think guard is an excellent option as well. I think Zion Johnson's better than Ben Brown, and I'm just going to select him right now. There's no real reason for me not to select him. He is easily the best guard on the board, in my opinion. And again, Richie Incognito not really going to last too much longer. So you need a solid game plan for that. I mean, personally, I would say kick Alex Leatherwood to guard, but we got to be realistic here. At number 80, we got the Chargers again. And we already got Nick Bonito as well as Booth for this team. And that's a pretty damn good haul, right? So I'm going to be definitely looking probably for another wide receiver as well. Definitely somebody who could be a later target, but I'm not seeing anything I really like here, guys. And that's just the unfortunate thing about this class. Hazelwood, if I'm not mistaken, he actually missed all last year with possibly an injury. I'm not sure if he was injured or else opted out. Jahan Dotson's that definitely is not going to improve over the guys that they already have. We could look again at another guard prospect here, but again, that'd be interesting. Jackson Kirkland's the left tackle for Washington, undersized, and I think that he kind of fits better as a guard. Probably a little bit. He's 6'8" though. That's his only issue is that he's kind of thin at 6'8". That would be interesting because again, we got the guy from the Jets. I'm bugging on his name right now to be at guard. We have Filer as well, and then of course our tackles are pretty much secured. But Jackson Kirkland can develop as a future right tackle to be able to replace Bulaga. I think that he's my number 2 guard on the board, and I've already taken another guard above him. Totally forgot about him even on the board. I think it's a great selection. Again, you're investing in Justin Herbert's future as they had this offseason, and they've done a great job doing that. So cheers to them for doing that. But at number 96, this is an interesting spot because I don't really think the Chiefs need much. I really don't. And if I'm not mistaken, we got George Pickens for them in the last round. So, I mean, we got the edge. We got the wide receiver. There's not really much else that they need at this point. Looking at the corners, again, I think corner would be a good depth pick here. And I'm not going to go after Darian Kendrick. It's a little bit low. It's a little bit cheap. I'm going to be actually going after an interesting target here. Stephen Gilmour is heavily underrated in my opinion. We could be looking. There's a guy named Storm in here. Storm Duck, if I'm not mistaken. He's actually really, really good. And I don't like the fact that I can't find him in here. He might be a safety, however, on this list. But Storm Duck would probably be my legit pick if he were on here. And I'm going to respect the board and not start taking players that I know that they don't because, again, the other teams didn't have an option to take them. So I think it's a little bit unfair. So given that, I think I'm going to be going after Stephen Gilmour out of Marshall here. If I'm not mistaken, he is related to Stephon Gilmore, and I think he'd be a great depth pick. The Chiefs know how to build these guys. So taking a quick look at the draft, which I didn't last time, we actually, if you guys swap these picks, you guys will probably be fine with it. We got a star quarterback here in Keaton Slovis in the second round. Again, taking a shot on somebody that's worth it. Thayer Munford, starting right tackle for us, as well as a future piece of this defense that I think people would be underrating if they didn't like it. The Chiefs, I mean, you got all the positions that you desperately need filled up with some solid value. And then that was all a steal. It's ridiculous. And the same thing right here. All these picks are just unbelievable. I'd probably switch Zion Johnson and Jackson Kirkland solely because I have a higher opinion of Jackson Kirkland. But, I mean, regardless, this has been a damn good draft. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think. See you on the far side. Peace.